Hi, good afternoon, everyone. Thanks for your time. Today, we want to focus on, maintaining the health of your brain, as we all age. So this is really, applicable not just for our senior citizens, our parents and everyone, but even the younger generation, because, our brain health today is dependent on what we did 5 years, 10 years, 15 years, 20 years ago. At the end of the day, we all know that our heart, our liver, every vital organ of the human body, including the brain, okay, it has a life. It has a life. And the more we abuse it or the more we use it the wrong way, we decrease that life or quality over the years. But it's never too late to make a change because the human body is very, very resilient. And when we change our lifestyle and we start doing things, our body is the same infinite intelligence that built this amazing body and brain, okay, is the same thing that can repair us and heal us and all of these things. Of course, by now, a lot of you would be confused, so many people telling you what to do, what not to do, which supplements to take, not to eat white bread or only brown bread and all of that stuff. Well, we're going to talk beyond that today because right now I know people in their 80s and 90s who have probably led very simple lifestyles. They still eat a little bit of white bread. They have, sugar in their chai, but they're active people. They've kept their brain active. They're happy people. They live simple lives. And without making any of these fancy diets a part of their life, they're still living beautiful lives in the age group of 80 and 90 with great cognitive health, that is your brain health, and they're enjoying their life with good quality. And that's what we should also always look at. You see, we invest in the physical body that can maintain us. But today there's something called brain disorders, cognitive health disorders like Alzheimer's, Parkinson's, dementia, memory loss as we age. And a lot of us think it's part of aging, but it isn't part of aging. If it was part of aging, everyone would have it, but everyone doesn't have it, which means we cannot blame it on age. And there are several things that we can do today to improve our brain health and help us to possibly, prevent the, Alzheimer's or dementia or cognitive, decline, which is loss of memory and all of these things. Because as we age, we always want to, have a quality of life. A lot of us want to be able to remember things, make our own decisions, not become liabilities to other people, enjoy time with our grandchildren and all of these things. And is it possible? Absolutely, yes. Look around at so many millions of lives that are living that life. And then there's a whole other population that declines with age because they've not looked after themselves. They're not feeding their bodies the right way. They don't live proper lifestyles. So there are certain things that we need to do to look after our brain health. And it's not expensive. We don't have to go there and buy fancy things all the time. So we're going to talk about the things today that we can do to prevent, okay, all these diseases and also how we can improve the health of our brain. Because at the end of the day, okay, if you've ever seen a patient in coma, okay, or a patient who has lost consciousness, the physical body, everything is working well, digestion, everything. But if the brain is not working anymore, it cannot control any function. So literally you become a vegetable, okay, but you're still alive. Okay, so that's just an example of the importance of the brain to make decisions, to control our bladder movements, our joints. It communicates with every cell in the human body. So it is so important for us to invest in our brain. So let's get straight into it and understand what causes these issues, because there are just too many people out there who blame it on age. So number one, the health of your heart. If you have uncontrollable cholesterol levels, high triglycerides, when we talk about cholesterol, bad cholesterol, it's not your total cholesterol. If your triglycerides are high and your HDL, which is the good cholesterol, is low, then that cholesterol is bad for you. A lot of people have high LDL, but their HDL is also high, which is a good thing, and their triglycerides are well within parameters. That is not an issue at all. Because don't ever forget that your brain also needs cholesterol to function. Every cell of the body requires cholesterol. So when we get on all these cholesterol blocking drugs and statins and stuff like that, because we're unable to fix the way we eat and our lifestyle, we start having more side effects. Because like I said, we need cholesterol for brain function, cell formation. Every single aspect of your body requires cholesterol. So what happens when you take a drug that stops or signals to the body to stop producing cholesterol? We have all the side effects of terrible body pain, muscle spasms, heaviness in the feet, cramping in the calves, deterioration of the liver over time. These are all the side effects. Yes, some people genuinely need it, but most people don't. So number one, control your triglyceride levels, because triglyceride levels are free fatty molecules roaming around freely in your blood. They can cause a clog in your arteries in your heart, leading to a cardiac arrest, or even in your brain, causing a stroke, a brain stroke. So the number one thing, your brain health can decrease if you have uncontrollable triglycerides. So you want to make sure that you take care of your triglycerides. If you need medication, take your medication, but change your lifestyle so eventually you can bring down your triglycerides and your doctor say, hey, no need to be on the pill anymore. Let's get you off it because you no longer have a problem. So watch that. Blood pressure as well. If you have a blood pressure problems, today everyone lives with blood pressure saying that, hey, I'm on a pill, my levels are absolutely fine, so I'm okay. No, you're not okay. You still have blood pressure. It's just that the medicine is suppressing your symptom. But blood pressure will damage the arteries in your brain, leading to strokes, damage in your arteries, decline in your cognitive health and your brain health. So please understand that keep your blood pressure under control. So take your medication on time. Technically, a lot of people today, they make lifestyle changes in terms of stress, eating, exercise, and after a while, their blood pressure comes on and their doctors remove them off their medication. That's the best space to be in. But let's say you still need the medication, then take it. Do not miss your medication. Do not stop your medication. Sometimes you stop it thinking, hey, let me see how I do. But your blood pressure goes to 150, 170, 180, and 200. And it causes irreversible damage in the arteries of your brain and in your heart. So please, if you're taking medication, take it the right way or don't take it at all. But do not fool around with your medication. Try to decide when to stop your BP medication because it goes under control. Blood pressure rises can be very silent, doing a lot of silent damage. Sometimes if you've heard of a nephrotic kidney, a lot of nephrotic kidneys or damaged kidneys are caused because of high blood pressure, which showed no symptom. It was called silent BP and that destroyed the kidney. It can also destroy your brain. So you want to be very, very careful of that and the damage it causes. And today there are scientific links and medical links showing us the connection between high blood pressure, which is uncontrolled, Alzheimer's, Parkinson's, and all of these things, including the impact of cholesterol. Because if we have excess of the bad cholesterol and triglycerides, they form something called amyloid beta plaque. That is exactly what is found in Alzheimer patients. There are certain proteins and plaques that build up, like you have plaque in your heart that causes clogs and cardiac arrests. You have plaque called beta amyloids, which are kinds of proteins that build up over time in your brain. And this prevents proper brain functioning, leading to all the symptoms of be it Alzheimer's or Parkinson's or anything like that. So we got to be careful of uncontrolled cholesterol, BP, and triglycerides. Okay. Now, what's the number one thing that you can do right now to protect your brain? And even if you have a condition, to make it better, it doesn't cost you money. It's free. Sleep. There's enough of science showing us how sleep deprivation, compromising on your sleep, sleeping at different timings every day, abusing your sleep, waking up at odd hours and not going back to sleep and all of those things because you're on social media or you're waiting for your grandchild to call you or your daughter to call you, all of that stuff. Please understand that if you do not sleep well at night, you always eventually become a candidate for poor brain health. You see, the brain has a function that can only activate while you're sleeping. We have a lymphatic system in our body that cleans out waste from our system. It is active during the day when we walk, when we move, when we exercise. Our lymphatic system is a circulatory system that removes toxins. You can detoxify your kidney, your liver, you're all aware of that. What about your brain? Have you ever thought about how you detoxify your brain? Does your brain have toxins? Of course, wherever there is food and oxygen, there are toxins as a residue. Your brain has a glymphatic nervous system, a lymphatic system. While we sleep, your brain literally shrinks to about 60 to 70%, only in a state of complete rest, which is deep sleep. And then there's a cerebrospinal fluid that is shot out into your brain to clean out and flush out all the toxins. Now, if you're sleep deprived or you keep waking up, the glymphatic system doesn't activate. So you wake up with more toxins, which collect cumulatively over the years and over the years and over the years. Now, we all know when there's more toxic buildup in any part of your body, it leads to inflammation and disease. Dementia, Parkinson's, Alzheimer's, these are all inflammatory conditions caused because of inflammation, because of lifestyle, the buildup of toxins. So sleep is your medicine. I understand as we age, sometimes you sleep lesser, but at least you sleep well. You may, instead of 8 hours, you may need 7 hours or 6 hours. But more important than the number of hours of sleep is the quality of your sleep. So it is so important for you to sleep deeply. Now, many of you may be not knowing how to lower your BP and cholesterol and your sleep. We've done videos on that. So I'm sure Tina will work with my team. When they send you this video, they will also send you videos on how to reduce your cholesterol, your BP, and your sleep so you can fix these problems. The next biggest thing, vitamin D and vitamin B12. It is so important for you to get this checked up every 6 months or every year. Because if you have low vitamin D and low vitamin B12, it is very bad for your brain and cognitive disorders and diseases. There have been links of low vitamin B12 over the years that causes Alzheimer's and Parkinson's, and vitamin D. So many, about 15, 20 years ago, we didn't have to think about this because our lives were different. We had more access to the sun and good quality sun. Today we have the ozone that's messing up everything. Our lifestyles were different. So we have to make changes. We need to check certain levels. And if they're low, your doctor has to give you the supplements. They're vitamins. They're not allopathic drugs that have side effects. But if you have a deficiency, you need to correct this. You need to correct this. This affects even young people. Okay, B12 and vitamin D, very, very important. Okay, turmeric is excellent for you. So you get something called curcumin, which you can take in the form of a supplement, or you can just take raw haldi or raw turmeric, mix it with your milk, mix it with your water, put it in your food. But turmeric is anti-inflammatory and has every connection to do with improving your brain function and your brain health. Omega-3, this is so important. I remember our parents giving us cod liver oil and their parents giving them cod liver oil. Because see, you can have fatty fish, you can have omega-3 and flax seeds and walnuts, but how often are we eating these foods compared to before? Not very. And the quality of all these foods is also decreased. So yes, you must take an omega-3. Either get it through your food. So if you can have flax seeds every day or walnuts every day or fatty fish, all these sources of omega-3, we'll send you a document on that as well. Do it. But I'm usually against popping pills and vitamins, but I take an omega 100% because I know my normal diet, even though it's good, it will not give me my daily allowance, my daily requirement of omega because of the quality of food that exists today. And omega is required for brain function and several other functions in the human body. So you can do a cod liver oil, you can do a salmon oil. If you're vegetarian today, you get algal oil, you get flaxseed oil in the form of little pills and capsules that you can take. Or if you're against all of them, then make sure that your diet is rich in these foods, okay? Because the DHA present in omega-3, it has one function, preventing neurodegeneration. Neurodegeneration is anything to do with your nerves and your brain. So, a lot of patients who have epilepsy or brain tumors or issues like that, they're on high doses of omega because the body needs that as raw material to prevent neuro damage, neurodegeneration. All the conditions, cognitive decline is called neurodegeneration. It degenerates over the years. So you want to take care of that. Alcohol. I don't have a problem with alcohol unless you're abusing it. If you're binge drinking irresponsibly, alcohol slows down the brain, and that's why they call it slow poison. Today it's a little, tomorrow it's more. Over the years, alcohol functions by killing brain cells. Of course, your body will regenerate, but it's still killing. So have your drink. Do it respectfully. Don't abuse it. Don't binge drink. Don't do any of that. Red wine contains something called resveratrol, which is actually great for the brain. So enjoy a glass of 2 of red wine, but do it responsibly. Smoking. The more you smoke as you age, the more damage you're doing to your brain. So you want to make a conscious decision to cut that down or stop it at some point, okay? Then we are talking about, what are some of the common foods? Like I said, nothing fancy, vegetables. Eat locally. When it's green leafy vegetable season, have your green leafy vegetables. Crucifers, your broccoli, your cabbage, your radish, your cauliflower. All vegetables are great for the brain. All fruits are great for the brain. If you're confused what fruits to eat, the best thing is eat what nature's giving you as per the season. Okay? You can't go wrong with that. But all fruits and all vegetables are great for you. Nuts and seeds, because nuts contain healthy fats, and healthy fats are great for your brain. So you're talking about walnuts, where you get your omega-3s. You're talking about almonds. You're talking about cashew nuts, unsalted, of course. You're talking about sunflower seeds, pumpkin seeds, flax seeds. These are great for you. The cooking oils, which are great for the brain and great for your heart and your overall body. Move away from refined oils and move to cold-pressed oils. So your pure ghee, excellent for the brain. Pure coconut oil, excellent for the brain. And if you're using any other oils like your peanut oil, your mustard oil, all of these, as long as they're cold pressed, They're good because refined oils create inflammation across your body and across your brain as well. Reduce your salt intake. Don't go off salt, but reduce your salt. If you're eating a lot of salt, it is creating damage in your brain and every other tissue in the human body. Sugar, processed foods, all of that stuff, have it once in a way, but don't overdo it. If your primary diet is now looking like more sugar foods and heavy refined carbs, white flours, all of that stuff, and processed foods, you know, not only you because you're senior, but even young children and young teenagers and young adults are decreasing their brain function. And that's very common to see in youngsters today, declined brain function or ADHD, hyperactive behavior, because of it's another issue to do with the brain. So you want to be careful of that, have it in balance. We're not here to say have an extreme life and don't enjoy yourself, but a balance of that. Exercise. No matter how old you are getting, do not stop moving. You know, a lot of it's a mindset. Oh, I'm retired now. Let me take life easy. Please take life easy. You've earned it. But it doesn't mean you get sedentary. Sedentary will kill you faster than any other drug over there. You need blood circulation. Your brain needs blood circulation all the time. When we're sedentary, why do we feel more lazy and lethargic? Because we've decreased our blood circulation. So if you have the ability to move, walk, don't do any fancy exercises, walk, a little bit of yoga, stretching, deep breathing, pranayama, all of this is excellent for your brain. But the moment you start getting sedentary, it's an issue. Maybe you're in a wheelchair, you can't move, you have poor knees, all of that stuff. You can exercise in a wheelchair using your upper body, movement around, but move. I guarantee you, the more you move, the more gracefully you will age and maintain the quality of your physical health and your brain health at the same time. We spoke about deep breathing, okay? Meditation and mindfulness, okay? Practice it. Today, there are so many apps which are free that teaches you how to meditate. If you can't meditate, it's okay. Just do deep breathing. If you're a religious person or spiritual, prayer is a form of meditation. But at 30 minutes or 20 minutes that you're praying, deeply focusing, that's also meditation. But the whole idea of meditation is where you can relax yourself completely. Today, most elderly people, their brains are declining because of the amount of stress they take. Life has changed. There are so many issues, but you need to understand as we age, we've got to take life a little more easier because that same little brain of you that's given you 60, 70 years of service is now declining. And the more load you put on it, the faster it declines. It's as simple as that. So we can't expect our brain to support us if we're overloading it. So at this stage in life, at any stage in life, we have to learn the art of true acceptance, letting go. Think of any problem you have right now. If you learn to accept it or let go of it, it's no longer a stress because you've learned to accept or let go. So practice these things. Meditation, mindfulness, very, very important. Live mindfully. Focus on what you're doing. Focus on your breathing, on your exercise, on what's happening in your life. But if your mind is constantly working and thinking about things and thinking about the past and focusing on the future, you're never mindful. And mindfulness trains your brain to focus. So if I give you your favorite song to listen to, it's mindfulness because you're so into your song, you can't think of anything else. So you may have other hobbies as well, painting or drawing or whatever it is, spending time with your grandchildren. As long as your brain is only focused on that and it cannot think of anything else, that is mindfulness as well. Coming back to more foods, dark chocolate. If you like dark chocolate, enjoy a piece or two every single day. Or you get cacao or cocoa. Make a cup of hot chocolate. That's brilliant for your brain. Raw cacao, pure cocoa. This is all brilliant for your brain. You can add that to your diet. If you enjoy coffee, 1 to 2 cups of coffee in a day is fantastic for you. Have it at the right time in case it affects your sleep at night because sleep is important for you. But plain black coffee. Okay, fine. You want a little bit of milk, add milk, but don't add sugar. You can add jaggery or coconut sugar. Just have it plain black. It is great for your brain. Good quality black coffee, 1 to 2 cups is perfect for you. Eggs is a superfood. Superfood, the yolk and the white together. Superfood for the brain. Peanuts, unsalted again. You can have pure peanut butter that has no salt or preservatives, or you can just have a handful of peanuts again. Great brain food. Look after your gut health. If you're constipated, you have constant diarrhea, bloating, acidity, get that fixed. We'll send you a video on that as well. Because if you have poor gut health, your brain and your gut are interconnected. Today, we have so many people who come to us with symptoms of depression, but they also have constipation and gut issues. And the moment we sort out those problems, all of a sudden they're not depressed anymore. So if our gut is poor in health, we start feeling like we're depressed or our brain function decreases. We have something called brain fog or brain fatigue. So it is extremely important to look after your gut health. If you take too many antibiotics, you're decreasing your gut health. So make sure that your doctor gives you a B complex, which you continue taking for a month, even after you stop the antibiotics, or a probiotic. You must take a probiotic when you take an antibiotic and continue for a month after you stop the antibiotics. That's very important. Now, getting into the fun things where you can look after your brain now, and even if you're looking at prevention in the future. Games, playing different games, crosswords, your word games in the newspapers, on apps or whatever. You've got to keep challenging your brain. Remember one thing, what you don't use, you lose. It's as simple as that. You stop using your muscles, you lose it. You stop walking, your legs muscles get weaker, and then you can't walk. Same thing with your brain. Keep challenging your brain. Play games with, your children, your grandchildren, games that make you think, chess, all of these things. That is a fantastic way of training your brain and keeping your brain healthy. Sometimes just going over your multiplication tables as well, or doing mental math in your mind, or crosswords or puzzles. That's the fun part. Do that regularly, 5 to 10 minutes a day. That's excellent for you. By far, the next 3 things that I tell you are super powerful. Okay? How do we keep moving our brain and using it? Start investing time in memories. Every day, take up a memory. It could be an old photograph when you were small, or your child was small, or a phone, a holiday, a memory. Basically, when you remember memories, 2 things happen. One is it makes you feel good, because we're only focusing, of course, on the good memories. We don't want to give attention and energy to the bad memories. We want to forget about those things, let go of them, accept they happen and let go of them. When you think of a memory, your brain works very hard to relive and rebuild that experience in your mind. That is like a brain workout. Every time you think of a memory and relive, it brings a smile to your face. Sometimes in memories, you can even remember a smell. So you can think of how your brain is working so hard to go back to that stored memory, that stored emotion. So that's one, memories, photographs. 2, music. If you can listen to the music that you loved when you were a child or when you were a teenager, that is a complete workout for the brain, because your brain will remember the rhythm, the beat, a particular part of that song. Can you believe it? Maybe 70 years later, but your brain will go into its deepest layers and access that. That is like a complete detoxification for the brain, a workout, whatever you want to call it. So you must do these things. And that's a nice way of relieving stress, because today we're all focusing on only the bad things that are happening in life. But one way to move our focus is by distraction. Instead of focusing on the bad, if I'm focusing on the bad, I'm only going to feel bad. Okay? But if I focus on the good, go into memories. This is so powerful, so powerful. I have a simple game I play with my daughter, Tiana, every night before we sleep. We do a gratitude practice, because gratitude is also great for your brain. It makes you think about the things you're grateful for, counting your blessings, saying your prayers. And we select any memory and we talk about that memory in detail. And it's unbelievable how she'll say something about the memory, and then it'll jog my memory, and I'll link it to something, and then I'll think of something to add to it. But you're literally, just accessing every part of the brain where that memory is stored. And this is such a powerful exercise to keep your brain healthy now and in the future. And it also helps you to stay happy, because you're focusing on good memories, photographs, memories. That's why as we grow, we like talking about the things that have happened in our life, because it makes us feel good. We remember it. So it's so important that you focus on that. Music as well. Movies. Sometimes today you fortunately have access to all the old movies. They're on Netflix everywhere. Watch old movies, so it makes you relive that actual experience when you were really watching that movie 20, 30, 40, 50 years ago. Excellent for your brain. Okay. Another thing, very important, is something called oxytocin. Oxytocin is what we produce when we're happy. It happens through touch. So, you call your child up, or you call your grandchild, you have a conversation, it makes you happy. That feeling of happiness is oxytocin. Even touch, even holding hands with your partner, hugs. These are things that make your brain work. Okay, you produce something called oxytocin. There are only 2 benefits. You feel good, and it's good for your brain. So as you age, taking a walk with your partner, holding their hands, and this is not just for old people or elderly people or senior citizens. This can happen to even to someone who in their 20s and 30s and their 40s. Human touch is very, 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 very important. Very important. So it is so important to use these mechanisms to improve your brain health. And it is as simple as that. As simple as that. Children in your life. Why do we like children? Why do you like grandchildren? Because they make you happy. They remind you of innocence. They remind you of so many things. Oxytocin again. endorphins, and that makes you feel good. At the end of the day, a good brain should feel good. Brains under stress all the time, it will decline in health. It's as simple as that, simple logic. The more you use it and you don't rest it, it's going to slowly deteriorate. Everything has a life. That's why it's called life. Every organ in your body has an expiry date, including your brain. So these are the simplest things that you can do right now. And even if you have an issue, what we're going to do is also send you a video on Alzheimer's. So, any of you, I hope you don't have it. If someone does have it, they can refer to that video. It's mostly the same thing that we talk about, but these are the things that you can do. None of this that I spoke to you about costs you a lot of money, and you don't have to change your life in a huge way. These are things that you should anyway be doing. These are things that we should naturally be doing as human beings for our overall health. But if you do this, you can hopefully have great brain health. And if you have great brain health, you will have a beautiful quality of life. I think we have to break the mindset right now that as we age, life is going to become difficult. And, I don't know if I'll be in a wheelchair. If you think that way, that's exactly what your life is going to be. But look around, like I always said, there are millions of people in their 60s and 70s and 80s and 90s. They're killing it. They're traveling, having fun, happy people. At the end of the day, for your brain to be of great health, be happy. No matter what, learn to accept, let go, just be happy. When you're in a state of happiness, everything in the human body works better. Every single thing. The moment negative emotions, baggage, there are couples in their 60s and 70s still fighting about the past and who said what and which girl said what to him when he was younger. And, why are you going to go to your grave that way? Just release it at some point. Learn acceptance and learn letting go. I'm going to even send you a video on that. And then just be happy. In a state of happiness, it is very difficult to have disease. Thanks for your time, everyone. Have a great evening.